Can you hear me? Can anyone just type in if you can hear me clearly? Okay, perfect. Yeah, okay, great. So, my dear friends, today we are going to talk about sexual abuse. Already we have worked on physical abuse and emotional abuse. Today we'll talk on sexual abuse, and also we'll do a healing meditation. And if possible, today or maybe tomorrow, depending on the time, we will also do one exercise. So, with that, I hope we can clearly heal whatever was going on in our minds, knowingly or unknowingly, because some people remember or some people don't even remember what might have happened with their bodies. So, as I was just reading, and I found some, I don't know even what to say, interesting or devastating facts, but 84% of people in prisons, when they were interviewed, they told that more than 84% of the prisoners were sexually abused as children. So when the when all these people are sexually abused as children, knowingly or unknowingly, consciously or subconsciously, they carry these things into their adult life, so that they will be abusing the other persons in their life or in any of the ways. So it could be any sexual abuse that they may do again, or even the physical abuse, or they may just become criminals, or they may become in whatever in different ways. So that finally they end up in prisons. So that is the extreme cases. And also, mainly in US and in some of the countries, when research has shown that millions of people every year are sexually abused. And they told that only 1 in 6 cases are reported. That means already only the reported cases are millions are there, but there are so many millions which are not at all reported. And mainly it happens because when, as a child, mostly the child doesn't know what exactly is happening, because no one really talks about all the sex education as they were children, because it may even start from 3 years of age or 4 years of age or even less than that. So, my dear friends, my dear ladies, I really want you all to be just in an observer mode. Do not get into that pity mode. Oh, is it really? And do not, I really don't want you all to get into those energies. So, because this is a very sensitive topic, and as women, we may feel very bad when we are hearing these things, or we may feel there may be so many emotions that may come up. We may feel sad, we may feel angry, so many emotions that may come up. So I really want you all to just be in that observer mode. Just these are all some facts that are happening outside in the world, or something might have even happened to you. But today, we will just know those things and to not get attached to any of these things, and just be aware of your emotions. So, actually, I could already sense there are some energy differences in the group, even though this is a short group now. So, what we'll do is we will do just a 5-minute meditation before we talk further, because I want you all to be really protected of all the energies surrounding this sexual abuse, sexual assault that happens in the world. So just close your eyes and breathe in peace and breathe out all the judgments, all the sadness, anger, all the non-positive emotions. Just breathe out those emotions. And visualize yourself surrounded by a violet color or a purple color energy ball. You're completely safe and secure in this divine violet color energy ball. And it is so strong that no non-positive emotion will enter inside you from outside. At the same time, whatever the emotions that are arising inside you from your past, as I'm talking, if any of your own memories come up that had happened to you, or the things that you might have heard, or the things that you might have read somewhere, and whatever the emotions that arise from all these things, the violet color divine light surrounding you, it is like a magnet from inside. So it will suck all these non-positive energies from you. So it will not allow any non-positive emotions from outside. At the same time, whatever the emotions that are rising inside you, it will completely suck those energies. Just be in that space and feel the energies of this divine violet light. If you wish, you can continue closing your eyes and being in this violet color energy ball. And you can listen to the session. Or you may even open your eyes, but still the energy ball is clearly surrounding you. And you can listen to the session. Whichever way you are comfortable, you can do that. But you are completely safe and protected. And whatever the emotions that are arising, they all will be taken care of. And as we are talking about all these things, all the unconditional love from our being is healing them, healing us and healing all these situations and persons, healing the whole of the female consciousness, healing the whole of this sexual assault, sexual abuse. Just be in that space. And also, I would recommend for any of you, if there is a traumatic past, and if you're suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder, or any traumatic past which involved rape or other things which you are not able to cope up when you think about them, or some things which are really serious and you really don't want to dig those memories. And if you're suicidal or any mental health issues, I would recommend you to work with a counselor or person to person with me instead of these online sessions, because with these online sessions, will not be able to clearly see you. You are the one who are going to deal with it. So please, I would recommend, if there is any such story, I would recommend you to really talk about it and take help instead of just going through these things online. Okay, with that, let us talk about a few more things. So, the sexual assault or sexual abuse. So, here there may be different things. It could be even the small things like unwanted touch, someone touching you without your permission, or you're really feeling uncomfortable when they're touching you. Like when you're a child, someone may be touching your nipples or even your genitals or anything. Just like a baby, they just are touching you without any intention, but somewhere you're really feeling very uncomfortable. You're pushing them away, but they think that's a play and they do it again and again. So even those things comes under, we will not categorize what it will come under. So it's just about healing them. And one of the main thing is, many of us may not remember what might have happened, but intuitively we will know that something might have happened, or the way we live, the way we act, it depends on what might have happened. I'll just share some of the stories from my clients. So one lady, she was waiting for her childbirth. She was so happy, she wanted a child. She told me that it didn't really matter for her if it was a boy or a girl, and she was happy with her partner. She don't really remember any of the sexual abuse or anything that had happened, but she gave birth to a girl baby. And just after a few days, when she was deeply resting, because she delivered a baby and she didn't had any other support except for her husband who was taking care of her, and he's also a very nice guy who takes real good care of her. But one day, as she was resting in her bed, her husband was taking care of the baby. So suddenly she woke up and was checking what her husband was doing to the baby. So she didn't directly go into the other room to check on her husband, but she was just peeping in how he was behaving, what he was doing to the baby, and what he was talking. So she did not trust her husband. Then she did not understand what exactly is happening to her. So every day, whoever comes to her house, even her brother or her cousins or whoever, boys or her dad or her father-in-law, whoever comes, she never felt comfortable giving her daughter to them. And even slowly became so obsessed that she never felt comfortable even if the husband kissed her daughter. So she was feeling so bad. Why is he kissing my daughter? Or something that is not, that she couldn't explain. She was feeling so bad about it, but she couldn't get through that. So as she was talking with me about these things, then when I asked her, did anything happen to you in your childhood? So she told me that she don't really remembers anything. But as I was doing some counselings and some regression on her, we got to know that there was some sexual abuse that happened to her, and it was still there in her cellular memories. And that's why she couldn't trust. So it was not there for so many years. She was absolutely fine. She was comfortable with the other boys and she was comfortable with her husband and everything. But when the child was born, something triggered inside her. And then she started not trusting any of the boys, especially to give her girl. She was so uncomfortable, and it is making her life so, because it's her own father. How can she not give her child to her father? But always she doubted something will happen to her. So when I started listening to many of these stories, even years ago, someone came to me. We were just talking. We were just talking. We were in a spiritual trip, and everyone was talking. All the ladies, well, actually, we were just college going girls, and everyone was sharing their stories. And I was really shocked at that time to listen to such stories. My dear friends, I'm mainly telling these stories because if there is anything inside you, I really want you to acknowledge and accept whatever has happened. Because the research has shown that many people, it's not only ladies, my dear friends, remember sexual abuse even happens to men also, boys also. So, but many people, they don't share. They don't even, it's not just about sharing. Even as a child, if they go to their mother or their father or someone to share these things, the other person will not believe them. They'll just ignore them. So all these things have been happening according to the research, and according to so many hundreds and millions of people have been interviewed. Why you didn't share, or why you didn't tell to anyone? And by that, what happens is they are feeling more victimized. Already they feel victim for whatever has happened, and if they went and shared with someone, they did not really approve, and they just ignored. At that point, even they shut down themselves even more. So what happens is that the memory will not be clearly there, because they completely try to shut down that memory, so it will be hanging somewhere outside. So it's when you, that's the reason many people, they don't really remember what has happened, because that is not what they expected. That's a completely new experience. They can't really store that memory, so they'll try to ignore it. So but what happens, it is still there somewhere. For some people, it will be still haunting in their dreams, as if someone is chasing them, or something is happening, some monster is coming and trying to rape them, or different things, some different kind of dreams. Or they may completely forget about it for years, but after their marriage, when that intimacy relationship starts, they don't feel comfortable with their partner at all, especially because all these years their body is so private to them. But suddenly, after marriage, or once they start a relationship, once they have a partner, their body is no more private. And that makes them feel so uncomfortable. They'll not be able to accept the partner, because somewhere they don't accept their body parts, because someone else abused them, and they start rejecting their body parts, and they feel so ashamed. They feel so guilty. They feel as a victim. But remember, my dear friends, that's not your fault, or that's not our fault. So once you accept that it is not your fault, once you accept whatever has happened, instead of rejecting it, and always saying that why, how can he do that to me? Because, my dear friends, I heard stories directly or indirectly from a person directly or from a person sharing their friend's story, or even from internet. People, and also there's a research which shows people who are very close to them, who are family, who are neighbors, who are teachers, who are doctors, 98% of the times they sexually abuse the child. So in that cases, what happens is, if they are so close, the child trusted them completely. Friends, mainly I'm talking as child, but it could be even as an adult or as a teenager, it might have happened to you or to someone that you know. But as they completely trusted them, what happens is, further on in their lives, it will become difficult for them to trust anyone in their life. So just because of this sexual assault or sexual abuse, the whole of their life, how they live, depends on how they have taken this. They don't trust people. It can be even in office, or even in their partner, or even their neighbors, or whoever it may be. Somewhere the trust is broken. And as I mentioned, so the intimacy issues may arise with their partner. So many complications when they open up their body to their partner. They feel so difficult, and they'll be facing so many challenges. One side, their intellect and the society and the partner, everyone says that your body is not private to you anymore. You have to share it with your partner. But somewhere there is so much of rejection. Though you want to share it, but you don't feel comfortable. Because of this, all the sexual abuse, it may have happened to you, or even you might have heard from someone, or even you might have seen someone, and you have stored it in your mind. So all these are very, very important. But once we accept whatever has happened, it's about, there are 3 steps in this. One thing is about remembering, and the second one is mourning. Mourning is like, if you have to cry, just cry, or if you have to show your anger, or if you have to show whatever the emotions, releasing them out, completely mourning. And then healing. After this phase, healing happens. For some people, after remembering, automatically the healing may happen. We can even skip that second phase. But after this healing happens, the whole of your life will be changed, because there are so many stuck energies there. Even they say that when in hypnotherapy and few other places, they say that when the sexual abuse happens, or when some really traumatic event happens, even for example, when your mother died in your childhood, or when your father died, or someone's spouse died, or some really traumatic event happens, some of your energy, the life energy itself, will be gone there. You don't really want to remember that memory. You live as if nothing has happened. So even though the memory tries to come up, you just push it, because you don't want to face it, because you don't even know how to face it. So what happens is, you just keep on rejecting it instead of facing it. But it is still there somewhere inside you, and it will still suck the energy from you. But when this healing happens, you will get back your life energy. At the same time, you will be able to heal all these memories, even though that memory is there, but the emotional charge will not be there when that healing happens. And you will be able to see it in a completely different way. So I want all of our group to be in that space. It may take 1 day, 1 hour, or 2 days, or few weeks of your time. But I want you all to work on this clearly. Do not reject it, my dear friends. Even though it might have happened to you or not, even though if you might have heard some stories, but really talk openly with your close friends, or even in this group, I'm going to create that space where you can share your stories. Or if you're not really comfortable, you can share stories of your friends. You can just say that, okay, there's one girl that I heard about, and you can just share her story. In that story, you can add your story, or you can just change it so that the healing happens in whatever way you share. We are all there here, creating that compassionate listening space where every one of us can be healed together. Or even if you're not really comfortable sharing with your own name, maybe I'll create few admins where you can just share to them and they'll share it in the group as anonymous. Or even I was thinking, I'll just take inputs from you all. I was even thinking to create a 9-member group where only these 9 members will share intimately all these stories. And finally, in the group, you can share if you wish, or even you can talk to me. But my dear friends, this is mainly about that compassionate listening, because the research has clearly shown that mainly when that child or when the teenager comes out of this victim stage and shares her story to even the mother or parent or caretaker, they are not believing them. And they're saying, and even some people are saying, don't tell to anyone. Because if a child has come to her mother and told that your brother, I mean the uncle, mother's brother, uncle is doing this and this, is touching my private parts or even touching me somewhere, and I don't really feel comfortable in his the way he hug, or if something like that is shared, definitely the mother, most of the times, she will not accept it. Or she may just say, oh, it's okay, he's just trying to hug you, it's okay, don't feel bad. Or just try to convince her daughter instead of trying to understand her emotions and actually looking into it. And I even heard so many stories where their own fathers abusing their daughters, uncles abusing their nieces. And even recently, I heard a couple of mothers abusing their sons. So look how extreme it is. It is all because of their old patterns, their old energies. And very recently, someone, they called me very recently after we started our group. They called me and they were just talking to me. So it seems she feels so uncomfortable. She has a daughter of some 6 years of age or so. So whenever her daughter, even from her childhood of 2 years of age and 3 years of age, she feels so uncomfortable to look at her private parts. As a mother, to look at her daughter's private parts or even to give her a bath, touching there, it seems she'll be so uncomfortable. She'll be feeling as if, okay, am I doing something wrong? Is it okay to touch there? Or Just imagine a mother's emotions. So even few months ago, I was traveling in a train, and a mother was changing the nappy of her daughter, and her father was there next to her. As she removed her diaper, and she was just checking for the diaper from the bag, the father was kissing the private parts of the baby girl. And the mother was feeling so bad, and she was almost yelling at him. And he started yelling back, "What's there? I'm just kissing her." And she was telling, "Why the hell are you kissing her private parts?" And an argument was happening. It was in the train. So I'm not here to judge anything, if the father is right or the mother is right or what has happened. It mainly depends on their emotions and what might have happened to them. So in our day-to-day life, when we observe how we react to such some things, then we understand how we stored some story, how we stored some emotions based on some story, and how those things are reflecting in our day-to-day life. My dear friends, here I'm really talking very openly. Even sometimes I'm not feeling very comfortable talking these things. But I've listened to hundreds of stories, my dear friends. And after listening to hundreds of stories personally, from years, I was feeling that, okay, can we do something about it? First time when I heard some story, I was thinking that, oh, your mother is very educated. Why don't you tell to your mother? And she told that my mother, I mean, their father and mother are divorced. And she told me that my mother, I cannot tell to my mother because every other day some man comes to our home and sleeps with my mother. So I was like completely, I don't know what the words that I should use here. Maybe shocked, or I don't even know. So of course it is, again, if we think from a Western perspective, from others' perspective, in a Western world, it is common when the mother is divorced, seeking partnership, or seeking some love relationship. Some people may say it is okay, but how it is impacting that child, that is important. How she stored it in her memory, that is important. My dear friends, all of you, as I'm telling this, let those memories inside you come up, whatever it may be, whoever you have judged, or if you have judged even yourself or even others. So after moving to UK again, I heard different stories of different women, different cultured women. Then sometimes I think, if the same story, if an Indian woman shares a story, if I take the same story to a Western woman, she may not have the same emotions, right? I hope you all will agree on this, as you are all mostly from the other parts of the country. I mean, mostly born in India, but settled in US and UK and other parts of the country, other parts of the world. So then I started thinking, so is it just about how we stored? The fact is same, the story is same, but how we stored those emotions. Again, I'm not telling that the Western women are not feeling bad, sad, or anger at these things, but nowadays a lot of women are speaking very, very openly. Even there are some TEDx talks and so many talks on these topics, so that the women are healed. So many workshops, so many things I think going on around the world. So many therapies have come up, because the research has clearly shown, even in the mental hospitals, and whoever are having mental challenges, even the therapists, when they give the questionnaire, it seems 84% of the people, or 85 or 83, I don't really remember, around 80s. So those many number of people, 85% of the people are again sexually abused, whoever are coming for therapy. And also people who take drugs, again, if their history is being checked, even there more than 70 to 80% of the people are again sexually abused. So again, there was some research that has been clearly shown, even in inner child work also, they mention this, that if parents are sexually abusing their child, again, mostly the child will become an adult and again he will start sexually abusing other people or even their own children. So the research has shown this. So if we don't talk about it, if we just keep it for ourselves, and if we just hide it somewhere without really facing it, it will keep on continuing for generations. So I completely believe in healing and group healing. And I completely believe in whatever the love that we are sharing, it is healing us. I wanted to do it as an experiment. And as you all are there in our group, Divine Feminine Sangha and the Devi Samoham groups, now there are about close to 400 people, I guess. So all these people, so many of the ladies are coming back and saying that with these group energies, after so many years, we don't have any pains during menstruation, we don't have any discomfort. Even recently, a 40-year-old lady, she came back to me and she was so happy, telling me that in, I mean, she was menstruated at the age of 11 or 13, and from then on, every period she had pains. The first day, definitely she had to take rest. But after so many years, when she joined this group very recently, but she loved this concept of we calling her Devi and addressing as a Devi energy and all these things. She really loved it. And she accepted it completely. And immediately within few days, it's not even 4 or 5 days, I think. Only last Friday night we started this group, and already yesterday or day before yesterday, she called me and she was telling me this. So see, my dear friends, when we are ready, we can be healed in a moment. So she clearly told that in all these years, this is the first time I'm not having any pain during my menstruation. It seems she's happily working without taking rest, and she's so happy. I can clearly, in even in her voice, I can clearly say that she's so happy. In the same way, whatever that we are doing now, the physical, emotional, and sexual abuse, if we all are there in that love energy, sending love to each other and healing our divine goddess Devi, if we can do that, definitely, without any doubt, we can all heal together. It's just about your acceptance. Yes, my dear friends, it's purely about your acceptance, complete acceptance. When we are ready, we will be healed. And a lot of them say that, mainly the therapists and counselors, they all say that talking is healing. So if anyone is here willing to talk, we're all there to provide that space. Especially, I promise that nothing will be discussed outside. In our groups, you can safely share your story, and we're all there to provide that compassionate listening. We will not advise you what to do, what not to do. We will not judge you. We will not show pity on you. So don't expect that. We will just send love. And that just love is what is important. Only that love can heal anything and everything, my dear friends. So once we are healed, there can be a lot of joy and aliveness. from the sheer liberation, because we'll feel liberated. And also the emotional freedom will be coming for us after the healing. As I already mentioned, for some people, they may not even remember what might have happened, but they intuitively know that something might have happened. They might have buried those memories somewhere. Something may trigger them. For example, as I'm talking, something may be triggering you, and those memories may come up. And sadly, childhood abuse is far more common than most people would think. But one thing I really wanted to tell you all is, remember, you may be very hurt, you may be broken by whatever that has happened, but it is not beyond repair. We can repair it. You can repair it. And we are all there to help and support you. I know, I think the session is extending, but I hope it is okay. If anyone wants to leave also, you can leave. That's okay. So it's all about unspoken shame. Even things like, for example, for one lady, she came, actually it was not a direct story, but an indirect story that I got to know from a friend. So for one lady, she was talking with my friend. It seems her husband is having an external affair, but she's completely dependent on him. So even though she knew it, she never ever discussed with her husband. But at the same time, she did not accept it. So it is called as unspoken shame. She was feeling so shameful about it. And she couldn't even accept it. At the same time, she couldn't do anything about it. All these shames, sometimes in your families, it might have happened in your old generations, or even something that is happening now, or something that you're seeing in your family, in other relationships in your family, but you couldn't do anything. Unspoken shame, and you're feeling very bad about it, but somewhere you don't want to deal with it. I'm telling you, my dear friends, it's not just about going to them and talking to them and dealing them. It's not about that. First, deal it in your mind. How are you taking that story? How are you storing? It's just something that is happening outside. And there are hundreds and millions of stories that are happening outside. But when it comes to your own relationships, own family, you store it in a different way. So release that emotional charge. That is very, very important. Because most of the times we are in this protective mechanisms. We just hide those painful memories and we protect ourselves. We just build some shell around us so that we'll not even deal with that. But I am asking you all to deal with whatever has happened or is happening, at least in your minds. My dear friends, again, I'm telling you, I'm not invoking you or provoking you to go and deal with your family members and just fight with them and do things. No, first deal with it in your mind. Release them, and you can clearly see that you will get a lot of energy, because as I mentioned, so much of life energy is released in those traumatic events. And in such traumatic events, we lose some power, we lose innocence, and also we lose how the way we live in our world. So all these things happen because of whatever has happened in the past. So let us all deal with that. Wow. Anyone wants to talk before we start? We'll just do a 5 to 10 minute meditation today. and I'll just give some guidance what we are going to do tomorrow. Before that, if anyone wants to talk, you can talk. Actually, this is before telling that this is live on YouTube, so that our members who have missed, they can check it later. That's the main purpose. We are still, this is still on live on YouTube. Only if you're comfortable talking, you can talk, or else we can discuss it in our group.
Ma'am, is there anyone else in the line talking, or am I all right to go on?
Yes, please go on.
Ma'am, I just want to appreciate, and I'm in awe of your efforts, ma'am, of putting in all your energy into healing such a lot of traumatic events. I just want to say thank you. I don't have words to thank you enough. Really appreciate your efforts, ma'am. I don't think people will even doubt that you could be sharing this with other people. Do you have to stress that it's confidential so many times? Such a noble effort, ma'am. Really, kudos to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because create that safe environment. Sorry, just a second. Because most of the women, they are skeptical about sharing. So when we stress again and again that it's okay to share, then sometimes they may come out to share things. Yeah, please go ahead.
నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడొచ్చా మేడం?
చెప్పండి.
ఓకే, యాక్చువల్గా నాకు ఇది జరిగింది మేడం. అంటే మీరు చెప్పారు కదా, చెప్పొచ్చో లేదో నాకు తెలీదు.
ఓకే అండి, మీరు కంఫర్టబుల్ అయితే చెప్పండి, ఎందుకంటే ఇది యూట్యూబ్ లో లైవ్ లో ఉంది, వేరే వాళ్ళు మన గ్రూప్ లో వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా చూస్తారనుకుంటా. సో మీకు కంఫర్టబుల్ గా ఉంటే చెప్పండి, లేదు అంటే గ్రూప్ లో అయినా షేర్ చేసినా పర్లేదు, మీ
పర్లేదు, చెప్తాను. యాక్చువల్ గా చిన్నప్పుడు ఏమైందంటే, అంటే మా పక్కన ఒక అన్నయ్య ఉండేవాడు. యాక్చువల్ గా నేను ఆడుకోవడానికని వెళ్ళాను. వెళ్తే అక్కడ తను ఆడుకుందామని చెప్పి, సారీ,
it's okay, we are all there here. Please, my dear divine feminine sangha, just send her love energies. And I request you all to not connect with her emotions, but we are all here to support her and bring her out of those emotions. In that space, send her love energies. It's okay. It's okay. You are a divine child. Just breathe in those peaceful energies, healing energies, and love energies. And while you're exhaling, exhale all those emotions out. And my dear members, whoever are here, just send her that love. It's okay. You are fine. And you are great. You're so courageous to share this story. And we are all there to support you. You are completely filled with those violet color energies, surrounded by those violet color energies. And it is sucking out all those non-positive emotions from you. And at the same time, you're receiving so much love from all of us and from the Universal Mother. Okay, we will continue our meditation for a few more minutes. And we will send that love energies to each and everyone in our group, to our divine feminine goddess Devi, our divine goddess Devi. We'll send her love energies. And we're all connected to that universal mother, and she's showering love energies on all of us. Just feel those energies inside you. And it is deeply, deeply healing each and every one of us. And the divine goddess Devi. Feel the joy as we are healing. Feel the joy inside you as we are healing. And forgive everyone and all the situations wholeheartedly, because it is you who are hurted. If you're still carrying and if you're still not forgiving the other person, it will still haunt you. So let us all forgive them. Wholeheartedly will forgive them, and we'll change the whole energies around it. As we heal, our divine goddess heals, and as our divine goddess heals, the whole of this collective consciousness on the planet Earth heals. Even if you feel like opening your hands and receiving the energies, do that. Just let your body move in whatever ways it wants to. Because sometimes we heal with moment and automatically it will come. Do not put any effort. Just 2 more minutes. Be in that space. Say to yourself that I am completely ready to be healed. Okay, whenever you're ready, you can release your hands and place them on your eyes for a few seconds. And slowly and gently open your eyes. But if you still want to continue, you may still continue. Yeah. How are you feeling, madam? If you're still in meditation, that's okay. If any healing process is happening, that's okay. You can share it in our group later. But if you want to share anything now, you can do that too. Also, if anyone wants to talk anything, share anything, you can do so. I'll just wait for a few more seconds. Okay, if no one has anything, if you feel this energies are really helping you, just continue your meditation and let that process continue. Because for some people, when they are completely ready to be healed, a deep healing happens in them. So just be ready and accept that healing. And for tomorrow, everyone, be ready for the meditation with pillows. Yes, keep a pillow near you and we'll do a process tomorrow in our meditation. Thank you all. Thank you and have a great day. And if anyone has anything to share, you can still share it in our group.